Trippy Zippy BUMBAG that has a clip. And it has a zip. Have you got granny squares lying around in your work in progress pile? I know there's a lot of you that have. I am one of those people. Let's make something cool and quirky with stuff from our work in progress pile. I put a story on my Instagram and you guys want me to make a bum bag, so let's do it. I am going to start by saying that the first ever crochet granny square bum bag that I saw was from Cozy Creative Crochets. She has a wide range of amazing crochet patterns. If you don't know her, then you live under a rock, because she's amazing and she's out there and she's incredible and she's so popular. For anyone that says that she wasn't the first, can kiss my butt. Because shout out to you, Heather, because you are a trendsetter. Okay, so in this video I am using my new Unico light, and obviously I told you guys I would be giving you some reviews, and right now I think you can see this bit here, which is the base of the light. Now I've tried it in different angles, but obviously for YouTube I need it because I'm on this table here. I can't do it that way, otherwise I've got to be facing this way, and if I put it on the floor it's not high enough. So yeah, we're trialing it and we're seeing what happens, but right now there's some disadvantages right there. Okay, so we are going to be making a bum bag as requested by you guys for my leftover granny squares. So a big shout out again to Heather from Cozy Creative Crochets, who was the inspiration behind all the crochet granny square bum bags. Right? You need 4 granny squares, so this is going to be backwards. This is going to be the back of your bum bag, and that's going to be the front there. And then you just need 2 either side, in which we are literally going to fold like this and sew along and attach to this one here, and then the front we're going to attach to this one here, and the same for this side here, and that is your bum bag, literally. So I have got these amazing zips from a charity shop, so an op shop, and I'm going to be attaching them now that to my bum bag. Obviously you can see there that it's not going to be the full size of the bag, but that's okay, because obviously we're going to have the handles as well, and you don't want the zip to be the whole way along. Anyway, and this zip here was 50 cents, so if you have a local charity shop or op shop, definitely check them out for bargains. Also let me know what you think of the lighting quality from my new light. I have charged it, but I don't feel like it's bright enough. I've actually got my ring light here. If I move it away, that's literally just the light I have from the Unico light, so maybe I'll just leave it like that so you can actually get a visual of what it looks like. But this is getting on my nerves here, the base of it. Right, so what you're going to need is 4 granny squares, or you can make some if you don't have any already, and that's good because you can use any tutorial for granny squares, and you can use a sunflower granny square, like a sunburst one, you can use animal ones, you can use any granny squares you want. You can go mad and create your own. That's what design is all about. So we're also going to need a 4mm hook, the Darling sewing needle. This one's quite a big one because the yarn that I'm using is a 10 ply, and I believe it's the Drops Paris yarn, so shout out to those. You don't necessarily need this, but I just always have it by my side. This is my Ocean Knits measuring tape, and it's retractable, and it's great because the other one I've got gets tangled up all the time. This is the yarn that I used to actually make the squares. I will drop the colours below, and I can actually show you how to make this square at the end if you would like to see. This is my Trippy Zippy square, which is part of a collection that I started. Where where I've been making bandanas, and I'm planning on making some bikinis and some other amazing stuff that I can't wait to tell you about. Yes, so we are going to, oh, need some scissors as well. We are going to take the yarn and cut enough off, tie a knot for the sewing. I always double knot it. And yeah, we're going to begin on sewing first, because obviously our squares are ready. I'm just going to show you now quickly where we're going to sew, so that you can either watch this bit and continue on and ignore all my talking. And I will include a picture as well, so you can pause the video on the picture and then have a look of where we're sewing. So the first part of sewing that you're going to do, easiest way to sew it together, so you'd literally sew down these edges here so you connect all three. So these three will be connected. And then we're just going to sew along this one here, so that that's connected too. So we've literally just got a T. So once that's connected, this one will flip up, and these are two sides here will already be sewed. Flip these ones up, and then we're going to sew these sides here, this side here to the front one on the sides, and then that's literally it. And we'll continue on with the straps. I will show you how to attach a zip if you want to attach a zip. So you can use some stitch markers to keep your corners into place. Let's get them out. So for example, whilst you're sewing, I find it a lot easier when you've got these, especially whilst you're sewing. And obviously we're going to make sure that they're right side facing, so this is the back and the right side is here, okay? And we are going to join in the corner, and we're going to be sewing into the back loops only. So it'd be the front loop on your side and then the back loop on the other side, because if you was to turn it around it'd be the vice versa, so the back loops only. I always try and sew over the tail end as I sew, so I normally just tuck it through and then pull, so that you don't have to sew it in later, because as you know, I hate sewing in or weaving in the ends, because it is just such a long process. Okay, over there. These squares have already been blocked. I always block my granny squares because otherwise they go all curled. Okay, so I've just sewn these two together, and I'm going to continue on sewing the rest together, and I will meet you back ready for the straps. I'm literally just about to finish the sewing on this one. I'm nearly at the end, making sure that I finish in that second chain from the chain 2 space in that top corner. And again, just go through there and weave your yarn through like so, and then cut it off. So mine is inside out because I like to sew inside out. Still looks pretty cool like that, and I'm just going to flip it the right way, which is like this. Obviously you got to weave in these little straggly bits, but that is what we're looking like at the moment. So now obviously we are going to, so it says 54 centimeters, so I want it to be even, so obviously I want to measure from both sides. So let me turn it this way because it's easier for me to measure it this way than it is the other way. So from here, it's 44. So we're going to, obviously this is 54 centimeters, so it can't be 54 centimeters. Oh, it's longer. Oh, that changes everything because it's not the same length. So we are back. So I went to my nearest Spotlight because I was going there anyway, and got a 25 centimeter dress zip, and we measured it and it is 40 centimeters. So what we're going to do, let me just measure it again because I've folded them that. Love this measuring tape. 42 centimeters. So we're going to measure, or you're going to measure along your bag, and then so you're going to measure along the top of your bag, and then we're going to divide the zip length by that, and then whatever's left, divide that by 2, and that's how far along we're going to sew before sewing on the zip. That way we're going to have like a bit of gap either side, and then the zip will be here. So to sew the zip, I'm going to turn it inside out like so. Even though I've blocked these squares, it's probably best that that after I sew my zip, I'm going to block it as a bag as well, so that it takes the shape a bit better. And then we are going to, obviously it's the wrong side, so we want to put the zip put the zip facing inwards and pin the zip once we've obviously done the measurements of the side. Pin the zip, sew on one side, then sew on the other side, but first obviously we're going to do this part. Okay, so we've got 43 if it's in front, and 43, cool. So 43, and then we're going to take 25 centimeters, because that's what it says here on our zip, away from 43, which equals 18, and then we're going to divide that by 2, which is 9 centimeters. So we're going to sew in these bits here by 9 centimeters. So grab your needle and your yarn and 2 stitch markers. We're then going to measure 9 inwards. That to stay. There we go. So from there to here, then going to place our stitch marker where the 9 is. so that we can sew to that, so it's easier to figure out where we're sewing to. Now I'm going to turn it around this way and to the 9. Again, we're going to do the same on the opposite side, so I'm going to go here. We're then going to count inwards to see if we've got the same amount on the side. So taking from your chain 2 space from your square, or your corner space from the square, I'm just going to count the clusters in. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we go on to the 5th cluster, the first stitch of the 5th cluster. And then from here we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, and then again we're on the 5th cluster. So ensuring that you count that on both sides as well to make sure. So 1, 2, 3, 4, that one's got to move over there by 1 stitch, and there we go. Now we're going to sew them together. By this, again, like we did for the other sewing, we're going to go in the back loops only. I'm going to go through this and then this, so that okay, so just continue until we get to this chain 2 space, because that's where we're going to put our strap. So we're just going to stop literally just before there. So keep going. So literally will look like that at the end. And then I'm gonna work my way back down again, because obviously this bit here is gonna be, we don't want it to come undone along the top, because then there'll be a way to get into the bag when we've obviously got the zip. So we want this bit to be as secure as possible. So once you've done that, we're gonna go and sew on the other side as well, starting from the stitch marker out to stop at the chain 2 space, and I will meet you after that. Okay, so I'm back and I've just sewn the sides. So this is what the pocket is looking like now. So what we're going to do is I'm going to now go and find and see if I can locate some red sewing thread. When we're pinning it, we want to make sure that the zip's going to be from where we've sewed. So obviously we've sewed in these corners, so we want the zip to be as close to the edge so that these bits here, the extra bits, can tuck in to the bit that's been sewed so that you won't see them. So I'm literally with the, I'm going to go through the front like this with the pins, so that we can make sure it's as close as possible to the zip. Because that's the way we're going to sew. So, and then this bit's going to tuck in there. Okay, so with your sewing needle, which should already be attached, and if not, you should do that now, we're going to go through the back first, and so that the tail end is going to be on the inside, and we're literally going to over sew it as much as possible. So we're going to sew all along the edge. Now, as I said, you can use a sewing machine for this, but it would be a lot trickier now that the squares are sewed together. But now you know how to sew the squares together, you can attach the zip prior to sewing the squares together. But I'm going to hand sew mine, and I'm going to sew all along here, and then I'm going to come back and show you how to sew the next this side here, and we're going to go from there. Just sewn along this side here, and now we're going to sew along the other side. Now to do the other side, I've already turned it inside the right way, so the right way is facing out, and I'm going to take my needle and thread. I need to get an extra long bit of thread and tie the knot as such, and thread the needle and we're going to quickly go in from the back to the front. I'm going to literally go through the stitch so that that's prepared and ready. Now what I've done is I've opened the zip to make it a lot easier, and I'm just going to go along and pin like we did for the other side. I hate it when you stab yourself with a sewing pin. Continue to pin along the zip, and then we're going to sew in the same technique that we used last time, making sure we go through the stitch, each stitch a few times. Okay, so I've just finished sewing in my zip, so these bits here should tuck under. We can secure them as well, and we're just literally going to make sure it closes like so, and where there's gaps, so there I've got a little gap there, I'm going to go along with the yarn that I use to sew and just go along and sew that so that there's not any gaps, and I'm going to go turn it inside out and sew along. I'm going to turn it inside out and sew along here again so that we've got some additional support, and then we're going to do our straps, guys. Look at our zip! Woohoo! Okay, so now we have our bag. I haven't weaved in my ends, as you can see. I do normally go over my ends, but there's some that need to be trimmed. So now we're going to do the straps on both sides of the bum bag. So we're going to take the corner, which we've left undone, and we're going to pull up a loop with our 3mm hook and our dominant colour. So in that case mine's red. Pull up a loop, chain one, and then we're going to single crochet 4 times. 3, 4, and then single slip stitch into that other double crochet after the chain 2 space, just so it's even on both sides. I'm then going to chain 1 and turn, and we're going to make the strap long enough to go around our waist, lower waist, so like our hips. So you could, this is where you can decide if you want it to go like on your hips or if you want it somewhere else, but that's where I want to do mine. So I'm literally, what you need to do is take your measurements for your waist or your hips and calculate how long your bum bag is. Take that measurement off of your desired measurements and then halve it, and then that's how long the straps are going to be before using one of these. Or if you're not using one of these, then if you're not using one of them, then just divide it in half and then just make your strap as long as possible. So I'm just doing a single crochet for my straps, but you can literally mix it up and do whatever you'd like for the straps. But I just find that with straps, single crochets are just the best because they're the tightest stitches. You could also use slip stitches as well, but this is what I'm going to use. And then you're basically done after that. Obviously, you have to weave, if you leave in the ends, to, like me, until last, well, you have to obviously go back and go over those. So I am going to continue this strap and meet you once I've done it. Don't forget to measure your clip if you are using the clip, as you'll have to take this off your measurements too to determine the size of each strap on both sides. Once you finish the single crochet rows for your straps, you'll want to place 2 single crochet into the last so we can slip stitch down the edge. Make sure you do this loosely so that your strap doesn't curl. When we get to the bottom, we're going to make a slip stitch into that first double crochet, then skip over to the other double crochet from the cluster. So then we're going to be working up the other side of the chain. This creates such a good loop effect as well and makes the strap very strong. So now I'm going to slip stitch back up to the top, and then we're going to attach our one half of the buckle. Okay, then I'm going to just go into this stitch here, slip stitch into there, and grab my buckle. I believe mine fell on the floor. Or is it under there? There it is. Okay, so that's our strap so far. Now we want to make sure we don't put the buckle on the wrong way, because there is a right way and then there is a wrong way. All we're going to do is undo it, and then with this slip stitch we're going to pull along tail end, like a very long one, maybe a bit longer, and cut it off. Remove the yarn, excess yarn, and pull tight, and then we're going to need a darning needle, and we are going to sew this on. So if we go through both loops, grab that one first. And then we're going to go back through the same stitch a couple of times so that we can secure it, like so. So we're going to go through, pull the yarn through, pull this very tight, go through the same stitch again. Make sure you undo the outer stitch here as well, which I didn't do. Now this is the best way I find to attach like some buckles, especially if you're starting from the back. If you were to start from the buckle first, you could literally go through and crochet over that. But because we're starting from the bag and coming out, it's better to have a long tail end and to sew it that way. And not crochet it, because otherwise it just gets really tricky and complicated, and it does not look nice. It looks like you've like slip stitched over it, whereas this will give it a nice end finish. I definitely needed a longer tail end for this, so it was very hard to thread my needle and also hard to try and get the yarn through without the needle slipping off. So I recommend making sure your tail end is super long, and then you can cut off the excess after. Make sure you weave in that tail end as well so you can't see it. Obviously, because mine was short, it was really hard to do that, and then I cut off the excess. So it looks like this. So that's one strap done. As you can see, like if you pull it, it's quite strong already. Not much stretch in it in comparison to thinner yarns. I recommend using 2 strands if you are using a thinner yarn, so you get a stronger strap. Literally going to repeat the same on the other side. And then other than the ends, the bag is done. And she is going to do an extra long chain, because last time on the strap I didn't, and it wasn't long enough, as you all witnessed. And we're going to pull that so it's tight, and then we need to make sure that it's going to be the same way around, so like that. So you can leave it together to thread it for the first couple of times so that you know that you're doing it the right way, because you wouldn't want it to go twisted. And again, make sure you're pulling really tight, and that we're doing a couple of stitches per that we're sewing into the stitch for a couple of times. Get your words out, miss. Like, come on. Okay. So this side, I'm going to do like 3 per stitch. If you don't do this, then obviously it's not going to feel as secure, and you're going to see the black buckle. Obviously, if you can get hold of a buckle that's like exactly the same colour as the yarn or close enough, then sweet, do that. 100% recommend doing that. Because obviously my black buckle doesn't, because black goes with everything, doesn't it really? But it doesn't really, like, it would be better if it was like a different colour, a funkier colour or something. Okay. can't believe we're nearly done. I've been literally like working on this for a couple of weeks because yeah, I just got distracted and kept picking everything else up, and I've got a few deadlines for my hobby challenges for to get them done, and I've been trying to focus on them and obviously do my swatch series at the moment where I introduce new stitches to everyone. But we're finally here. I just need to edit the video and then we're done. Oh, and I need to take photos, so. But yes, we are nearly complete. I'm going to go to this end one at the side, and just to secure it, I'm going to do a couple in there. And you see how we've got an extra long chain. Look, I'm not running out, so it's not like annoying to try and secure it. Okay, now I'm going to go back into the one I just went into, but go into another one as well, and through that one, and then I'm going to create a knot, put it tight, and then I'm going to weave, because they've got a bigger because we've got a bigger hole here than that side because it's thicker. I'm just going to try and weave the needle through all of them loops like so to pull through so it's secure in that manner. Da 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 da. And then I'm going to weave it through the stitches and fasten off. And I just said to everyone that we're nearly finished, but you know what, I've missed out the most important thing, haven't I? Ah, that's weaving in the ends. I think that's enough. And then take your scissors, in my case fabric scissors, because you know me, always losing my scissors. And look guys, we have created a bum bag. If you've got this far and you've finished, congratulations, well done, I'm so proud of you. You've created a bag. If you're a beginner, well done, look what you've made. If you're not, then just look at it. You created that and you should be so proud of what you've made, because I know I am. I'm now going to weave in the ends, and at the end of this video I'm going to show you how to make this square so that you can actually make this square, but you can also use the same technique to make a bum bag with any square that you like. So I basically ran out of all of the colours to make the same square, but I have got this half finished square which I'm going to undo and show you how to do it again. So I have technically got most of the colours, but just not brand new ones. But if you do want these colours, I will do some digging. I know that I ordered them from the Purple Sheep, which is in England, and it's amazing. If you've never ordered from there before, they do a lot of the drops cotton, and yeah, I got recommended to that from Electric Threads, which shout out to you, you're a babe. Okay, so I'm going to undo this, and then we're going to start. Okay, so what we're going to do is we are going to chain 3, and in that first chain we're going to place 2 double crochet, chain 2, another 3 double crochet into the first chain. So that's where our middle is going to be. It's essentially like doing a magic ring, however with magic rings they always come undone, so I always use this technique. Okay, chain 2 and chain 3, do 3 double crochet again. Ooh. I'm using a 4mm hook as well guys. Chain 2 and another 3 double crochet. I'm hoping I used a 4 last time, but we'll soon see. We can compare the squares after. And oh, looks like we're on 1, playing yarn again now, 2, and then obviously going to that top of the chain 3 that we made, pull through, and we'll make a slip stitch there and hope that that stays together like so. Okay, now we're going to grab our blue, which, oh my god, just look at those together, guys. Just look. I'm literally wearing a pair of orange gym shorts, and they literally, the yarn is sat on my lap and it looks so good together. Like, what colour combo? What a combo. Okay, grabbing your blue. I always, rather than starting in the middle, rather than starting directly into the chain, I always start the one before, so the double crochet before, and then I like pull up a loop and a security of a chain, because you're not going to see that, and then I'm going to place 3 double crochet, chain 2, 3 double crochet into that chain space. Then I am just, even though in a normal granny square you don't actually go into this bit here, unless you're doing like a standard granny square where it's an old school granny square where you're doing a double crochet in every one. I'm just going to do a front post double crochet into this middle of the purple. So to do that, you're going to insert from the front and come back through behind and pull through a loop and pull up a little bit higher and pull through 2 and pull through 2. So that's a front post double crochet. Then we're going to literally just directly go straight into the chain 2 space and do the same as what we did in the corner, but we're not chaining in between anything now other than the corners, guys. So no chaining when we go further on after the corner spaces, because I just feel like it looks too gappy. Okay, and then again I'll slow it down for you. I'm going to drop this down as well so you can see a bit closer. Oh, sorry, wiggle around. That's probably a little better for you, sorry about that. Okay, now we're going to yarn over, go through the front, come through, back through the back, so that that actual double crochet is sitting on our hook. Then we're going to pull through and pull up a loop, put it up a little bit taller, pull through 2 and pull through 2, and directly into that corner space again, doing the 3 double crochet, chain 2, 3 double crochet. Okay, so we're now going to attach it into this double crochet here and with a chain 1, because we're not going to really see that, because we're not going to count that as a stitch. So we're going to double crochet into the next, which is the one before the front post, and then we're going to work a front post into that front post, and then double crochet into that next, because technically it's not a space because there's no chains there, but we're still working in there. Okay, then we're going to skip right over to the chain 2 space and place 3 double crochet, chain 2 and 3 double crochet. Repeat that all the way around. placing the last 3 double crochet into that chain, 2 space, and then we're going to slip stitch into, we're going to skip that little chain 1 there and single crochet, slip stitch into the top of that chain there, so it should look like this little cutie. And now we are going to, I'm just going to slip stitch across and then attach my next colour, which is the yellow, so that we don't have to attach again in another way. So I'm just going to pull that up there, and then I'm going to quickly just slip stitch into the next one, and then into this one here we're going to place a double crochet, and then we're going to go down into that blue middle one here and do a front post in that one. I'm going to just cut that green off and weave that in as we go, and then I'm going to go straight into that corner. Again, always in the corners we're doing 3 double crochet and chain 2 3 double crochet. Skip into the next space just before that, and I'm going to go to front post here. We'll skip over this one, I'm not doing anything in that one this time. The next middle one of the double from the 2 rows below. I use this similar technique when I do my Trippy Zippy bandana. So if you haven't made one of them yet, that's over on my YouTube channel, so you can also go check that out. And we're just going to continue to work that the whole way round, and as I said before, you don't have to use the same colours, but I have listed them below. You're also welcome to use any amazing colours that you wish. All my squares that I did use for my bum bag have been blocked as well, so I'll show you how to do that, because you can see that it's curling. And then we're just going to slip stitch into that first double crochet that we made. And then again I'm going to slip stitch over that one and that one. And grab my orange. And again pull that yarn through and tighten it, and now we're going to do the same. So we're just going to go into every chain space around and do the double crochet, a double crochet below and another double crochet into the same stitch, same space, sorry, and obviously do the 3 double crochet into the corner. Oh, I love this orange so much, it's so yummy. So we're always working 2 rows below or 2 rounds below with this stitch. And obviously as the square gets bigger there's more spaces to like work in. And last but not least, we're going to do the red. And we're going to literally repeat that all the way around. So this time we're going to have the corner spaces. And then we're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4 of the red clusters. So I'll meet you at the end. Okay, and here we have our square. As you can see, it's like curling in. So let me show you how I block my stuff. To block, I use these memory foam. I think they're memory foam, or they're polystyrene foam, maybe. Anyway, they're a type of foam. They are the kids' play mats you can get from Kmart or Walmart for $10 for 5. And I use these for blocking because I just think there's no reason for me to pay for the Knit Pro ones, which are white and they have straps all over them for measurements and stuff. I just don't see the point when I can measure it and stuff myself, and they're expensive and these are cheap. So I'm a money saver, I'm a bargain hunter. And I have this here, which is a repurposed air freshener bottle for fabric spray. And all I do is I put a teaspoon, like a teaspoon of fabric softener that you do use in your laundry, and fill up the rest with water. And I just literally spray. I need to make up another one, but spray both sides, and then I grab my pins, give it a little stretch out first. So yeah, I grab my pins and I put them on an angle, and I put them in all the corners. You can also put them along this bit, but I don't see the point. Sometimes it just sits right when you do the corners. But if you were to, you'd just literally like just pin them down like this. Like so. And yeah, I just then either stick it under a fan or I leave it to dry naturally, and it should come out looking like this, like a perfect square. So that is how we do the, sorry, that was a aggressive bang. That's how we do the Trippy Zippy squares, and I hope you've enjoyed making your bum bag with me. I've enjoyed showing you how to do it. If you do make one, please tag me. I'm going to be posting a free pattern very shortly up on my blog, which is coming soon, which will be on my website. And yeah, if you make it, please tag me. And again, shout out to Heather, who was the first inspirational trendsetter for bum bags.